everyone, and welcome back to Maple Madness. My name is Kate Bodiker.
And I'm Isaac Sawatzky.
And if you can believe it, this is already the third and semifinal episode of our exciting March Madness coverage. We'll be taking a look at the thrilling conclusion to the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight.
And giving an exclusive preview of who we think is going to take it all the way. Who's going to win the chip this year, Kate?
You know, it's a good question. We got to get into it.
Let's
Although I
get
will
into
say, before we start, this is some interesting trivia that I learned this week. I was very excited to find out. This is the first time since 2008, 17 years ago now, that all of the one seeds made it to the Final Four together. And interestingly, it was also in San Antonio that year.
And guess who won it?
All right, I think we can
Rock
be on board. Well, let's take a look now at this year's Final Four. And I gotta say, some interesting trivia about this. My cousin, my 7th grade cousin, he made a bracket for our family's arrangement this year, and currently, as last I heard, was winning because he had just picked the highest seed in every single game. He was just going with what the stats recommend, I guess, and clearly it served him pretty well. As you can see, all the one seeds have made it this far, and you know what? Like I've been saying this whole time, if you made a risky bracket this year, it was not going to be your year to take it all the way.
No.
But yeah, as we stand, this is the matchups.
I'm just curious, who did he have winning it all of the 4 one seeds?
You know what? That's a good question. I didn't ask him. I'll have to report back next week. I'll find out. Eli, shout out to you. I'll have to find out. And as far as I know, he's still winning. So it's hard for me to check though, because notably my brother forgot to add me to the family one. He thought I was already on the email, so I'm not. I'm not included, so I can't get to check. So not a shout out to Zeke. He betrayed me about that one. But that's okay. I'll check in with my family when I'm home this weekend. But exciting stuff, so I'll get to watch the games with them. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's exciting. A quick rundown of the four games or the 4 teams that are left here. Auburn, man, people said they're the toughest bracket or to get to the Final Four, but they did it, and they did it in dominating fashion against Michigan State. That game wasn't really ever in question. Florida, thrilling comeback. Texas Tech had it in the bag. I think it was a 16-4 run or something that Florida ended on to win the game. So exciting stuff there from Florida. Hey, they were resilient. Walter Clayton Jr., he's a bucket getter. If it's crunch time and it's close, you want Walter Clayton there. Duke, I think personally right now, I hate to say it, I think they'll win it all. I mean,
feeling good about it?
No, I'm not feeling good, but they far and away look like the best team in the country right now. And then Houston, toughest playing team in the country, as Jay Billis says, and they'll give it a run for the money. I just think Duke is too much this year. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, I gotta say, I mean, as we've talked about, I clearly want Auburn to be winning, but, I really don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that, there hasn't been much madness this year, as we've talked about, and so I feel like maybe the Final Four, this is finally going to be the moment where things really kind of take a shake-up. Maybe things aren't going to go, maybe Duke gets upset in the Final Four, just kind of see how it shakes out. Obviously, again, I want Auburn to make it happen, so, I don't know, an Auburn-Houston would be kind of an interesting matchup there in the finals. That's kind of probably what I would go for, but, yeah. And you know what? We talked to some people on Goshen College's campus to see who they have winning it all, although a bit of a disclaimer on their behalf. We did these interviews before we knew the confirmed Final Four, so if any of them were picking teams that seem to be a little outdated, you have to give them a little bit of grace. But I think you'll see some pretty common threads on the teams we've still got going on here, so a lot of GC students probably still feeling pretty good about their picks.
And who do you guys have winning March Madness?
The Ohio State University.
Duke University.
Thank you.
Notre Dame.
Go Irish. Who do you have winning March Madness?
You know what? I'm going to go for the Notre Dame women's basketball team, 100%. They played an amazing game this weekend. Yeah, I think we've got a bunch of really strong women's teams. I'm really excited about the women's bracket.
Thank you very much. And who do you want to win March Madness?
Anybody. I care more about baseball season. Go Reds.
Go Reds. So I talked to someone who is from New Mexico and whose brother goes to New Mexico. And so the teal that I talked about in the jersey, that's actually a turquoise. And that's because there's a rock that's seated in New Mexico. And all of the buildings are like this turquoise color. There's a couple other colors, but there's turquoise. So it's another cool tie-in that the turquoise on the jerseys is a direct correlation to a prominent color seed into the state. All the more reason that their jerseys are just so beautiful and gorgeous. And the sun jersey that I talked about, that's on the flag of New Mexico. I should have done some research. I could have guessed that. But just another direct tie to the community, to the state, that makes them all the better. With your basic analysis, who do you have winning?
Duke.
Who do you have winning March Madness?
I have my confidence that Arizona is going to beat Duke today, on 27th.
Yep, that's right. Arizona all the way.
All the way.
Thank you. Who do you have winning March Madness?
Anybody but Florida.
Thank you. Who do you have winning March Madness this year?
Michigan, man. Go blue. Let's get it.
Go blue. Thank you. Who do you have winning March Madness this year?
Michigan, go blue.
Well, who do you want to win?
Is Oregon in it?
Yes.
I'll do that because the team colors.
Thank you. And who do you have winning it all?
Baylor University, Sick'em Bears.
Sick'em Bears. And who do you have winning?
Duke.
Thank you. Who do you want to win March Madness?
I gotta be honest, I don't really know the options. Give me like the top 3 choices for you and I'll pick one.
Okay, so probably the top 3 favorites are Houston, Duke, and Florida.
I'm gonna say Duke.
Wrong answer. Wow, we definitely have some students on this campus who are going to be super excited, some that are going to be disappointed, and some that have already been disappointed for quite a while now. Speaking of already disappointed, let's look at my bracket. See, oh my.
Unfortunately,
one Final Four team.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of red we're seeing here.
Now, keep in mind, this bracket was based off of my favorite jerseys from this year, so I didn't use my basketball knowledge in my brackets. That I considered the stats a little bit more. My winners are I have one with Houston and one with Florida. But my fun bracket, which is we're fun people here at Maple Madness.
We love to have fun.
We're the coolest. We love to have fun. So I had to go by jerseys, and it.
You know what, clearly, I will say I had a lot of faith in New Mexico doing it pretty good there for a while. I was really on board. I was like, you know what, maybe there's going to be something crazy. Maybe he knew. Maybe something about those jerseys was really going to make it happen.
Yep.
And clearly, I mean, you still got one. Clearly, it doesn't hurt anything in terms of your playing ability to have a cool jersey. So,
no.
You know, we'll see how things shake out. I have a little bit more hope coming up here with my Final Four. So again, like I was talking about, Auburn, still very, very possible that I might be able to walk away with a champion. I've never, ever, in all my 5 or 6 years now of doing March Madness, I've never, ever picked a correct person to win. Even when I tried really hard the first couple years to like follow what people thought and pick correctly. I've never, ever gotten it right. So I don't know, knock on wood if there was anything around, but it hopefully is going to happen for me this year. I would be really a big year to do it. I had so much fun. This is the most time-consuming bracket I've ever filled out. It took so long to look up pictures of all the different coaches.
68.
Exactly. And a reminder, and I was having to look them up multiple times, like time after time after time.
Comparing.
After time again to make sure I really was down to like the minute details of who would be taking each other on. So I spent a lot of time on it, and so I'm feeling pretty good about that, and I'm really excited to get to settle down, watch the games, and really, you know what, just take it in this year. Exactly. With people I like, people who also like basketball, and we'll just see where it takes us, I guess. But certainly my vote's on Auburn as we move forward.
Who's our special guest this week, Kate?
That is a great question. Coming into the studio in just a moment here, we've got our very special guest this week, Charlie Aldrich, former editor at The Record, if you're keeping up on that. He'll be coming in to talk a little bit about his bracket. A pretty interesting way he was talking about, I don't want to spoil it, but sharing kind of a different way of making his bracket that I thought was kind of interesting. So he's going to walk us through that here in just a moment.
Thanks, Kate and Isaac. To be honest, I made my March Madness bracket purely on vibes and tradition. An old and kind of crappy tradition, to be honest. I had Wisconsin winning. And unfortunately, they didn't make it out of the second round. They lost to the Mormons of BYU. Lost by 2 points. I had Michigan State purely because they're my hometown kind of heroes and my hometown favorites, purely off bias. I had Florida, the only team that I had making the Final Four. I had that one correct. And I also had Gonzaga because why not have an upset? And now for Wisconsin, I'm going to state my case really quick. I have had Wisconsin winning the NCAA championship for the last 8 years. That's my tradition. because back in the day, back when they were good in 2015, they went to the championship game where they played Duke, and they unfortunately lost. But that was enough to plant the seed of hope for the next, almost 10 years to come. They have not won a championship since, but I will still hold out hope for the day that they do. And until then, I am picking Wisconsin. Go Badgers. And yeah.
Well, thank you, Charlie. We really appreciate those insights.
If you're going off of what I think you're going off of, though, shouldn't you have Kansas winning it all? One critique. Sorry.
No, well, we really appreciate all our guests that we've had in here so far for the show, and our last guest next week, so pretty excited about that. But that's going to do it for this episode of Maple Madness. But make sure to tune back in next week for our grand finale. We'll be crowning the winner for college basketball.
And our winner in the bracket competition here in the Maple Madness studios. No spoilers, but I think you can already guess who's won it all.
We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out, but I do feel pretty confident. That's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you next week for even more Maple Madness.